Alright, hey everybody, this is the Zio preview, and we're going to be going our first impressions of Zio before he comes out tomorrow. Yeah, I think he's going to be super good. I'll go over some theory crafting at the end, maybe some use cases, but yeah, let's watch the video here, and yeah. He is the final boss of Area 4, if you've made it there in the story. I have not, because I'm pretty behind on my story, my single player. But yeah, he seems good. I thought he was going to be Moonlight Ludwig when he first got teased, but it looks like he is not. Cool. So we'll skip straight to the stats here. Start off with 1255 attack, which is pretty good. It's not the highest in the game, but this is definitely up there. Lower health, 106 speed, so definitely on the slower end. But that probably won't necessarily make that big of a difference. His speed is probably just low to make him balanced. Yeah. Defense, super high defense, typical mage stats, built-in crit chance, that's nice, built-in effectiveness, take it or leave it. He might be able to make use of it, but and bring concentration, more effectiveness, that could be useful, but we'll see what happens if he ends up being a more damage dealer, or if people try to run in more control. Yeah, so let's skip to his skill introduction. Yeah, so the Supreme Authority, at the start of the first battle, increases combat readiness by 10%. Unaffected by effects that reduce combat readiness, increases the caster receives. So, yeah. Short text, super nice. This buffs up to 20%. And basically, this means he's going to get the first turn. Super nice. Even if you don't have the best speed gear, if you can get this guy up to about 260 speed, he's probably going to go first. Unaffected by effects that reduce combat readiness, increases the caster receives. Just means that Politis, and maybe somebody else that they come out with in the future who reduces combat readiness, this guy's immune to it. So the jury's still out on whether this impacts all combat readiness buffs. If maybe you have like an Oxloth or something and you buff this guy up and they have Politis, if that is going to get halved. But at the very least, this guy's first turn capabilities are not going to be reduced. Very cool. Some quick data into maybe an example of how this might work is you pick this guy with 260 speed and the enemy has a 300 speed ran. Well, at that point, the turn or the speed cap is 300. So this guy is going to get an extra 20% of that 300 speed cap. So he's in essence going to get about 60 extra speed, and he's going to be running 320 base speed, and the enemy you're in is going to be at 300. So this guy's probably going to get the first turn. Obviously, there's still speed RNG, which this will not influence. So maybe you get super unlucky speed RNG. The other guy gets max 5%. So he's up to whatever 315. You're at 320. You're still probably going to get the first turn here. So really cool. This is going to be super nice for those of us who weren't blessed with amazing speed gear. So yeah, he's a mage. He might be able to hold book. So yeah, cleavers and anti-cleave alike. This guy is going to be a contested pick. Cool. His skill 3. Now we're getting into what he does on his turn. So pretty much every time you're going to want to use this S3 on your first turn. Dispels 2 buffs from the enemy before attacking, silencing for 1 turn, and decreasing combat readiness by 30%. It increases to 40% when you max Mulgore it. So maybe you don't even need to Mulgore this thing, because it looks like right here you silence for 1 turn, decrease combat readiness, and dispel 2 buffs. So you have the silence and the combat readiness decrease to sort of shut somebody out from their turn. That's nice because you get the extra security versus 15% resistance. This is where his built-in effectiveness comes in if you want to build in some more effectiveness. And yeah, sort of shuts down, takes one of their speed guys out of the games. So that's nice. Then it sets him up with the DFI buff for 3 turns. And yeah, just a quick commentary, like if you're running this guy, the match is probably not going to last 3 turns. It's probably going to be a fast match, but yeah, you give yourself the DFI buff, which is listed down here. You penetrate the target's defense by 100% and cannot trigger a critical hit, which is interesting because this guy had built-in crit chance, if I remember right. But we'll see where this comes in later. When the target's a hero, damage dealt increases proportional to the target's current health. So cool, penetrates defense by 100%. Defense is not a thing versus this guy. Probably not going to kill anybody, but yeah. When the target's a hero, damage dealt increases proportional to the target's current health. Not sure if this works proportional to how much total HP they have or their percent HP. But we'll see that later. It's cool though because this guy's always going to get the first turn. It's always going to activate on a guy who has full HP. So it's always going to deal max damage. Very cool. Now we'll get into the DFI buff. This is sort of the big crux of his kit. Well, another of the big cruxes of his kit. When attacking, increases critical hit chance by 50%, and when attacked, decreases damage suffered by 50%. When more than 1 damage reduction effect is granted, only the strongest effect is applied. DFI cannot be dispelled. So super cool. He's basically always going to get DFI because he's always going to go first. This can't be dispelled, and you can't hit unbuffable on him before he puts it up. So super reliable way to get this DFI buff up, and it is a strong buff. He gets his base 50% extra crit chance, so he's way easy to build. You can give him crit damage necklace or even an attack necklace if maybe this first hit does a lot of damage, or you have your crit chance from somewhere else. On more than 1 damage reduction, and he gets his 50% damage reduction. So he's got high defense as it is. He's not going to be taking that much damage when he gets this buff up, so that is very cool. Yeah. You can soul burn. He can hold book, so he can soul burn himself and dispel all buffs from the target. If they have a bunch of buffs up somehow, maybe like immunity and a barrier, and I don't know what else, but yeah, he can soul burn maybe later on in the match if the hero has a bunch of buffs up and dispel them all. Yeah, to be honest, not sure when you would want to use this, but it's there. S1 attacks the enemy with a spear before increasing the attack of the caster for 1 turn. When the caster is deified, activates Disappear as an extra attack. Disappear can only be activated once per turn during the caster's turn. Disappear attacks the enemy with a Sword Storm, and when the enemy is defeated, increases combat readiness of the caster by 50%, penetrates the target's defense by 50%. So yeah, there's a lot here. Cool part is, this isn't like Closer Charles or anything else like that. It's more like regular Charles, where when you have the Deify buff up, you do your regular attack, you increase your attack at the end of that turn, and then you do your extra attacks. You hit twice when you're deified. And Disappear looks like it is going to hit for big damage, which is really cool, and also looks good. That's one thing that I didn't touch on earlier, but the animations on this guy do look super good. Yeah, this skill looks super cool. Looks like it could be like a Strays S3 or something. It's really satisfying to watch. But yeah. Disappear can only be activated once per turn during the caster's turn, so no counterattack shenanigans. You can't run him with whatever the Millum artifact is for dodge counterattack on a counterattack set and just try to troll people. Not allowed. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Disappear attacks the enemy with a Sword Storm, and when the enemy is defeated, increases combat readiness of the caster by 50%, penetrates the target's defense by 50%. This is going to deal a lot of damage because of that 50% defense pen. And when it deals a lot of damage, if you hit a squishy target or you build in full damage and can wipe somebody out with this, you will get 50% of an extra turn, which is a big deal. Especially because he has that built-in survival. He's not going to take 1 turn and die, most likely, unless he gets focused super hard. But yeah, super cool character. Let's use this one. Boom, there's the first hit. Boom, 9,000 damage. Self-attack buff, so he sort of takes care of himself, which is super nice. You don't need to spend an extra team slot on an attack buffer if you're running this guy. Final comments are, I think he's going to be good on speed set and penetration set. Synergizes super well with him. Maybe you're going to want to do torrent set for that more damage. But yeah, super easy to build, and it's going to be a super good game changer. If somebody's trying to run speed cleave against you, you can drop this guy, probably take the first turn. If you're running a speed cleave setup, you can run him on book, and he's going to be a nice guaranteed first turn guy for you. He looks good. Good luck on your polls. Would recommend getting. He's going to be super meta. Alright.
What are you doing?
That's Zio.